Slayers, let's go, babies. It's Friday. It's almost March. Spring is right around the corner, especially for us up in the cold northeast. But hey, it's Friday. We're back. We took a little hiatus last Friday, and Slay Station is back with a brand new episode. And we got some Slayers in the house to have a little round table, right? Everybody coming on tonight is actually a Slay Nation director, one way or another. So we're excited to have the crew on. But listen, if you're tuning in from Facebook, or make sure you grant StreamYard permission to use your name, so when you comment, we know who's watching. But also, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button, share all that, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to build that up. We got Mark Chase in the house. What's up, fellas? What's up, Mark? Great to see you. Thanks for joining. And we have a bunch of other people watching. So please comment. Let us know where you're from. Let us know who you are, where you're fishing. And if you fish one of our clubs, let us know which club you're representing. Kayak series, small vessel series, or horsepower series, national online team slot series, lady slayer series, or if you're a college slayer. All right. I'm ready for the 16th. Alabama Bassin. What's going on, brother? All right. Hey, before we start the show, we want to thank all of our great sponsors. Okay, we have SFO Tackle. All right. Listen, they got some awesome stuff on the website. Go check them out. And they have a lot of stuff that's not on the website that I'm going to get a hold of what brands and products they have, because you're going to want to find out. All right. Black Hall Outfitters, the official kayak retailer of Slay Nation. If you are a Slay Nation member, you received an email from us in the last few days. One, you get your 10% discount code to all their stuff in store or online. Also, the kayak discounts they're giving Slay Nation members only. You're going to be saving hundreds of dollars. You also get, right, with the purchase of a kayak, an hour long worth of rigging, free rigging. Okay, so don't forget that. And lastly, they ship to any state in the country. All right, so if you live in California, you buy one, they ship it out to you, Florida, whatever. Okay, so make sure you check out that email for Black Hall Outfitters. Dark Horse Tackle, the official subscription box of the Slayers. Martin's Custom Baits, get yourself knee knocked, right? Exo Lures, heat your meat. Stoneman and Son Lure Company. The Rod Glove, Hook Set Hoodlums, Harmony Fishing Company, and Omnia Fishing. Now, what up, Slayer? Let's get on the Slay Nation Roundtable. We're going to bring on Jake, the Sledgehammer Stem. Right? Our kayak
what up,
series
guys?
director.
What's
what up,
going
Slayer?
on?
We're going to bring on TJ Swaney, the Pennsylvania
What's
kayak
up, Slayers? How's it
director.
going?
What's up, baby? And Al Paliani, the man behind the American Angler Outdoors channel and our national online team slot series director.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, we made that name long just for you.
I was going to say, man, that's how I know you're Italian. It took me a whole deep breath to say the whole friggin' name, right? Oh my God. So thank you guys for hopping on. Speaking about Italian, I started a new session of a basketball clinic last weekend, and I got a new kid in the clinic, and his name is Antonio Rizzo. So when I'm taking attendance and I said Antonio Rizzo, I said it does not get any more Italian than that. And his parents are like straight off the boat, like they speak Italian, the whole everything, and they were done. I was like, Antonio Rizzo, like you're gonna fit right in here, dude. They live right on like the New York border. So my screen just instantly broke. Nice.
That's Brett. That's good old Brett.
Is it Brett?
Okay.
I told him to tune in because we got some big news.
A little
with
PA
DJ,
roasting.
So he's here to talk smack all night.
Yeah. So listen, if you're watching tonight, we got some exciting news, some really fun, exciting news that will be opened to anybody, but it's really going to be an awesome opportunity for some New York and Pennsylvania Slayers. So stay tuned for that. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But gents, thanks for joining tonight. It's Friday night. It's a new Slay Station. I love doing these every Friday night. I love doing these. And I'm excited to have you guys on, some regular guests. All of you have been on before, right? Whether it's this season or last season or another season, everybody here has been on. But we got some really fun news to share about a few different things. And then we're going to talk about some things going on in the fishing industry, right? And we'll have a lot of fun with that. So if you're watching at home and you have a question about something, send it in. Something about the fishing industry, something about tournament season, baits, whatever. If we can answer it, we'll answer it the best we can. All right. So let's start with this. I'm here with the Slay Cave working on New Jersey
Hey,
flax,
Slay
baby.
Ray.
Oh, Slay Ray
Slay
in the
Ray.
house. What's up, Slay Ray? Oh, by the way, Slay Ray is also gonna be printing the very first Slay jersey of 2024 this weekend.
Hey.
All right.
Nice.
So templates came in. He's gonna busy man. He's doing some plaques for some series that sent him some things, clubs. So Ray's going to be putting in some sweat equity to start off 2024. But hey, first things first. The sleigh season has begun. We've already had two official tournaments in the books earlier than we ever have had, right? And they are southern states. So we had Georgia cracked off early. I actually think at the end of January. I think it was January 26th, which is really early.
Wow.
So they cracked off, right? And Central Florida had their first event last weekend. And then I think Georgia has their second event this weekend. So they are getting off to a fast start. And then after this month, March really starts to kick off lots of trails. So we're in the heat of it. And anybody watching jerseys, right? We order like the first whatever 120 jerseys, right? We get those templates and they come in, they get sent to Slay Ray, which a lot of new members have been texting me and emailing and like, hey, can I get my jersey? I'll pay for shipping to get it. Like we are grassroots. There's one guy in his basement making these. We don't have inventory. They're not made. We don't buy them from a supplier pre-made. We did that last year, but that was a one-time. We placed what we can only place one order, and that didn't happen until like May. So we're going back to our grassroots. So remember to have patience with us. When they're done, they go to your directors. They'll hand them to you. As long, same thing with all the swag, right? I'm getting banners made, bracelets made, decals made, and I got something else I'm going to talk about. At a company just kind of comment on one of our posts earlier this week, and I checked them out. I'm like, oh, who's this? And they make 3D printing, like all different types of products for kayaks, for boats, cup holders, bait holders, camera holders, things like that. And they got something in the works that a lot of us use, but might be able to get it for a cheaper price. So I'll tell you about that later. Which we're all about saving money now because everything's so expensive. G-Rock on the back of that first jersey. Get out of here, G Pebble. That's one of my guys. And so sleigh season has begun, right? We're really excited, but I guess let's get right into it. Let's get right into this. So just to preface this, all right. So if you're listening and you're a New York Slayer, you're a Pennsylvania Slayer, especially, you should be really, really excited. Now, this opportunity is open to anybody what's going to be happening, but I got a phone call from Dark Horse Tackle, one of our sponsors from Zek, and he said, hey, which they also sponsor the Kayak Adventure Series, which is a brand new series hosted by Drew Gregory and a bunch of his friends and people in the kayak industry. And he said, hey, Drew said, hey, Slay Nation looks like they have an event the same weekend as us in August. And yeah, Drew gave me a call. We talked. And T, what's going to be happening August 9th and 10th, man?
All right, so I got on the phone with Drew today and we started talking. He is coming to the Susky doing the Fiesta on the Susky. What it's going to be is almost like a week-long event in a way. He's going to show up Thursday, get everything going. He rented out this huge theater that, we're going to do awards in. Everybody's going to be able to go to, sit. But, you know what, let me just break it down from the beginning. So Thursday, everybody comes, checks in, gets to meet everybody. Friday, it's actually going to be a 2-day event in a way. Friday, you're allowed to fish 4 hours, and those fish will count towards your overall for Saturday, but more than likely they're going to get called out. Saturday will be the main event, and that's going to be August 10th. Now, as Slayers, this is our Civil War for New York versus PA. This is 3 years we've been doing this. It's our first year for New York coming down to us. But what we're going to do is we're going to make this event open. So even if you're not in a Slayer, if you don't know about Slay Nation, but you want to come in and you want to see what we're about, open event. You can join up. Non-members are included, and you get to see what we're about. Also, what the Kayaks Venture Series is about. So I mean, it's going to be a good time. He's got a couple different divisions. You got the individual angler, which is going to cost $150. But guys, here's a little caveat to that: get signed up soon, because the first 100 anglers are going to get a $100 gift bag for the event. So you want to take advantage of that. When you sign up for the individual, you're going to get entered into the micro bag division, which is actually 5 smallest bass. I mean, come on, we're out on the side.
That's Brett.
Yeah, that's Brent all day. That's Brent all day.
Hey, finally, a tournament I can win.
I know, right? Everybody's coming now.
The size regulation for that's going to be 5-inch to 9 3/4 inch. So 5 smallest bass, somebody's going to get that 25-inch bag and walk away with the prize for that. So that's going to be
cute.
cool. There's also going to be a team division where 2 anglers can fish together. Still a $150 entry fee, but 2 anglers are going to split that for $75 each. It's all going to be on 20X. And so I was talking to Drew a little bit more. He wanted me to hit up the Angler of the Year. So the way they're doing that is, if any of our Slayers place well and qualify for Angler of the Year, the set is you got to fish 2 events for the Kayak Adventure Series plus the championship round. Now the Susky's like the 4th out of 5 events. So you're going to kind of look ahead and see what the nearest event is and kind of fish that ahead of time. But that's if anybody wants to go after that Angler of the Year. Gotcha. Now the championship is going to be held in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I forgot to write down which lake, but you guys can hit up the website and check it out.
Okay.
Now during Saturday, while we're all out fishing on the water, you can bring your families. And in Towanda, PA, he's actually going to have like a full festival going with kayak demos, merch tents, music, food, bounce houses. He even told me Toyota's going to be there doing truck demos. GoPro is sponsoring this event. It's the main title sponsor. So he also let me know, excuse me, that if you're out there fishing on the water, like say you go Friday and you got a good bag, you're submitting good fish, his crew may actually go out and follow you Saturday and live stream you to their channel, and you're fishing for that day. So, some cool things could happen with this event. He's thinking that it could be anywhere from 100 to 200 anglers, and he let slip that first place could be walking away with like $7,000.
Yep. That's awesome.
That's legit.
That's a good tournament, guys. That's a real good tournament.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity because anybody watching, like Drew Gregory is one of the biggest names in the kayak industry. And he's still one of those kayak guys that doesn't fish with screens. He'll have like 2 poles, spinner bait, and whatever else.
He's
and
a
he
river
still
rat.
crushes it. So this is potentially, so they're going to let the PA New York directors do their award ceremony on that big stage in that amphitheater, whatever it is they rented, which is great exposure because they're still going to live stream it or whatever they're doing to their audience.
Yep.
So this is a great opportunity to be on a bigger stage in front of more people instead of in, the traditional in a parking lot somewhere, right? Locally. So it's a really cool feel. And we're really appreciative that they thought about us and said, hey, what do you think? And once I heard about it, I was like that's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And it's what a great opportunity. What a fun opportunity. And at the end of the day, you're still going to have the Civil War, the top 5, right?
From
lengths.
PA, New York, we're still competing to see who takes on the championship.
So, yeah.
We're on the Susky. We got to show up this time, boys. I mean, last year,
that's right.
We kept it close, but...
Towanda's an interesting area as well, because a lot of guys, if you don't know where that is, that's about like within 5 miles of the New York border. It's a very northern stretch of it, and there's never been tournaments there that I know of, at least not, I know I believe there's a local kayak club. That's Slay Ray. I got the other live pulled up. But Towanda's an interesting area because it's just a different section of river. I mean, we definitely kind of probably lose an advantage for us PA Slayers since a lot of our guys know that Harrisburg region where Hobie and BASS go. So it's kind of a civil war that's up for literally anyone's game in a way because most of our guys, I'm assuming, aren't that far north.
Well, also
Right. And
he's got almost, I think it's close to 150 miles of water opened up for this event, because you're allowed to shoot up any tributaries or any other little offshoots as long as you don't cross over a man-made dam, I believe it is.
So if I
mean,
start
it opens
practicing
up
this
a lot
weekend,
of water.
I might be able to cover all the water.
Yeah.
Al, what
and
were you saying?
TJ, we're hoping here at the American Angler Outdoors by May or June to be able to go live
Okay.
on the network, meaning you can be on Roku, Fire TV, on phones. We want to have that live app up and running by April, May, more than likely. I can come up there and those award ceremonies can be filmed on national TV.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, so that's our big thing. That's why I want to bring that live on. I want to be able to do tournaments live. Frankie, you people in this sport, we don't get that much opportunity to be on TV.
100%.
And yeah, that's why we're doing it. And yeah, if we got it up and running, we'll gladly come up there.
Hey,
Okay.
if
All
Brett fishes it and wins,
Any
we're gonna have
excuse to
technical
any excuse to
difficulties.
go north.
I'll
That's
come
right.
on up. We're trying to get Frankie to come down too for it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. I'll see what I can do. I might be able to come down for a day, or leave really early, get there for the day, then leave later on. Because I got basketball that week. The following
So,
day.
quick question, TJ. The ceremony, is that going to be Saturday after fishing, or is that going to be Sunday?
That's going to be Saturday after fishing.
Okay.
And then Sunday, if sometimes you got the guys who stick around, an extra
Mhm.
day. So there's actually going to be a side pot tournament for Sunday as well. And what it is, it's going to be a $25 buy-in, and all the prizes were donated by Batteries Plus. So gift cards or batteries, from my understanding.
Nice.
So for you guys who want to stay the extra day and fish some more, I mean, there's a nice little side pot you can get into as well.
Yeah. And you could, and anybody interested in like checking out any of their other tournaments, go on kayakadventureseries.com. They have a website and all their information is broken down, things of that nature. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And I mean, it's in August, so it's like
We
it
still
seems
got a
so
while
far
to
away,
wait.
right? It
Yeah.
seems so far away.
But a lot of
but
guys
Al,
are planning their schedules. I've already planned
yeah.
mine for the year, so it's nice to know and adjust.
Well,
to
that's
it.
true
And
too.
We're
That's
already
true,
going to
too.
do the Civil War. A lot of those New York guys were already planning on, which actually, shout out to New York guys. That's actually closer for almost all of you because it's right on the border. So we're giving you a little advantage to drive less, so you get a little more sleep. And, don't forget, we're helping you out a little bit.
I wish Justin was watching and Josh were watching right now. Oh, they're not. They'll have to watch a replay. Unless they are watching.
Justin's dad, Al's watching. Don't worry.
Al's in there. All right. Al's a great guy.
Yeah.
I like Al. Yeah, so that's really cool. So, yeah, speaking about, being able to have your own channel, be on live national television, Al, like talk more about the American Angler Outdoors, because here's what I'll say. That since you put the Slay Nation channel up there, because I have it on my TV, I watch it all the time. I just tune in to see what's on. And it's just really cool seeing either watching Ed Munoz's channel or watching ours, us up there. Like, it's just cool. So talk about that.
And what we'll do is this show will be on there probably late tomorrow. It takes me usually by noon the day after it goes to YouTube.
Okay.
I can download it. I have to download it with a different software from YouTube. And it usually about noon to 2:00 the next day it's available.
Okay.
And then once we download it, I upload it to the server, put it into the channel, hit autopilot, and it cycles it into it. But what we can do is, this for all you Slay anglers out there, you anglers, you tournament directors, send us a link. If you got a 10, 15, 20-minute video of a Slay tournament, send us the YouTube link. If you don't have a YouTube link, send me the MP4 video, through Google or something, and we'll add it to the channel. We'll add it to the Slay Nation channel. That channel's there for all you guys to promote. It's there for the anglers, especially the tournament directors, You can always take that little 20, 30 seconds at the beginning or the end and throw your local sponsors on there. There's a good way. Hey, last night at 9 o'clock, man, your name was on national TV.
Yeah, 100%. That's a
I
great
gotta
way.
film mine.
That is
I'll
a
film
great.
all mine, TJ.
So I don't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, but that right there. So if you're listening and you're somebody that's wanting to look into getting sponsors, right? Because that's just part of the tournament fishing now. This is one way to make yourself stand out from any other applicant. A lot of guys will say, hey, I got a YouTube channel, right? Great. I got Instagram. I got this. But what about, I got my own channel on a national TV show, right? And now you're talking about the sponsor. You can make a little commercial for it, whatever you want. That they're going to be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Right? I guarantee
it helps.
Guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it helps. And I'm sorry. I'm looking over here where the guy says, "Do they need to prove citizenship if they're from New York?" My thing is, if you're crazy enough to say you're from New York, then you got to be from New York. There's
That's
no
my buddy
sane
Tom.
person
That
would
wasn't even
admit it.
Brett. That
Who
was
was
my buddy Tom that I traveled with. That wasn't even
okay.
Brett, surprisingly.
funny.
I can't say nothing, man. I was born and raised in New York, so
Yeah, in New York. The New Yorkers. All right, cool.
yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, get a hold of American Angler Outdoors, and you can find out more. But I definitely highly suggest it because one, yeah, it's fun, and two, what a great way to stand out and just tell your friends and family, like, hey, look, I got good content. I'm going to start recording. I'm going to be, I've invested, and I'm putting it on a national TV show that anybody can download. So really cool.
Yeah, and if you have a lot of videos like Ed Munoz, he's got a lot of little 20, 25-minute videos. If
Yeah.
you want, put together your own 28-minute show, and every Thursday night at 9 o'clock would be your show on the main channel.
Love it.
So we're also taking,
Love it.
and one thing I haven't said, there is no charge for this. You want your own show? No charge. You want your own channel? No charge. You want to add videos to Slay Nation's channel? No charge. So you can't beat that price.
No,
No.
can't.
Hey, TJ, Samurai Cooking Show. Sponsored by Heat Your Meats,
Yeah.
baby. Heat your meats. Come on,
Everything
cook them
on
big
open
steaks.
flame next to a bonfire. That's my style.
There you go.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. That's like
Easy.
perfect. That's our brand, man.
Yep.
You got
Yep.
it.
Hey, it's
something.
always good for a good show.
How about
shows,
this, T? Here's what we'll do. I'll do one myself, cooking something with Heat Your Meat, whatever I
Yep.
want to use. But of course, I'm going to represent a sponsor.
Absolutely.
So if I do one, you do one, and that's how we'll start it off. And then
make it
then
happen.
and here's what we'll do. We'll challenge someone else to do one, right?
Okay.
And it could be something like that.
All right.
And
Ed,
Good evening, Ed.
hey,
Ed's in
there
the
he
house.
is,
He
the
heard his
man.
name. Your ears were ringing, Ed.
Ed, your ears
Yeah,
were
hey,
ringing.
good evening.
Good thing they're not
Yeah,
this
we
big,
can do
Ed.
that. And then
When
And
these
then
ring, I
TJ,
take
I could
flight.
do my my sloppy Joe with elk meat.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Here we go.
I'm not a fan of sloppy joes, but I'll definitely have one of those.
Yeah, my wife loves
you
it
ground
when
it
we
up?
use bison or elk.
Ooh.
When I cook with anything with the bison or elk, my wife's the first one at the table.
I had bison
yeah.
last
You're
weekend. That
waiting.
was delish.
Okay, that sounds really good, actually.
Ed said he fell asleep after dinner. Ed, you got a tournament tomorrow. Ed's fishing Slay Nation tomorrow. He's got to rest up. Get that filming
Yeah, we
done.
need more videos, Ed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Video, Ed.
Yeah. Come on, Ed. Get on the game, man. Now, don't worry. I guarantee we'll have some video coverage from this weekend from him. I can always rely on Ed for some content. All right, cool. So let's get into making me hungry. Let's get into the fishing world right now, right? There's a lot going on. This is a great time to be a fishing fan. The Bassmaster Elite Series kicked off, right? Yesterday, Thursday. Today was day 2, and then they have tomorrow and Sunday. And also the Bassmaster Kayak Series, right? Kicks off on Lake Murray tomorrow morning. There's a lot of friends we all know competing in that. Some Slay Nation members as well. We got Jack Tibbins out there, who's actually
Ryan
rocking
Nye.
Slay Nation on his jersey. We got Ryan Nye out there.
Bailey
Bailey Eichbrett, another Slayer who also runs the Serious Angler podcast. A lot of you know who he is. And a bunch of other people. Nick Audie, I think, is down there this weekend.
I think
Another
it's 255, 254 anglers.
254.
Yeah, something like
good
that.
turnout.
I saw the post.
That's a good
Over,
turnout.
I think it's over almost 14,000 for first place out of a kayak.
Man, that's crazy.
14,000.
Almost 14. It's 13 and change last time I saw for first.
Damn.
That's the biggest kayak payout, I think, besides the Bassmaster Kayak Classic.
Wow.
I think that one's a little more. Might not be. Might only be 10. I don't know.
All right.
I can't remember.
See if they can keep those numbers up throughout the season until people start realizing, oh my God, travel is so expensive. That's the only problem with
find
that.
those cheap Airbnbs or just set up the tent. Man.
Yeah, for real.
Hey,
right?
car camping setup. I'm building one right now, and I'm stoked.
There you go.
Yeah,
I told you I want to get a tent on the back of my truck. That way, it's just
Brett uses one. Brett's got a tent for the truck bed.
I like that. I like that. What else? MLF's kicking off. MPFL's kicking off, and then a lot of local clubs and things like that. So it's a really good time to be a fishing fan right now. Now, one thing, and I'm going to start this discussion, and I don't know who's been paying attention, who hasn't, but I'm just going to open it. But I know watching some of the Bassmaster Elite footage, it's obviously different because a lot of footage is the angler's forward-facing sonar screen, and then the angler on the left side of the screen. So you're watching lots of screen time, right? And it's different, right? It is different than we've ever had, and because all of them have it. But I will say, as a spectator, part of it gets a little boring, right? Part of it does until they go to Greg Hackney and John Cox, who just are fishing shallow. And how do you not love those guys? But there, I forgot the angler's name. He's a newer, younger guy in the Elite Series. I think the last name is Glee.
Robert Gee.
Oh, Gee, that's it. And I just happened to tune in. It was right before my lunch break at school, and I hopped on my phone in my office, and I watched. And you watch his screen, you see him jigging. He was using a jigging spoon, and you could see the fish, the bass, come up, stop. He jigs it, he pops it. You see it come up, and then you see it. Then you don't see his lure, and you see him set the hook. That was cool. I'm not going to lie. Watching that, I was like, oh shit, that was pretty fun to watch. Right? Like that, watching that at that moment made me say, oh my God, do I have to get forward facing sonar? That looks pretty fun. But then I was watching a little longer, and then you just see Fujita. He had lost a fish, right? He had set the hook, lost a fish. And he's in a lead right now, right? He had 31 pounds day one, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
And, and so he lost the fish. He looks at the camera. He goes, "Oh, that big." And anybody knows he's Japanese. And then he gets back on a trolling motor, and he can't find. It's all he's doing is moving his trolling motor, scanning with his boat, right? Scanning. And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't feeling that part, right?" I was just like, "Oh no," right? I was like, so it's like I could definitely see it being a love and hate relationship as a spectator, right? But what are your thoughts? What do you guys? I don't know if you watched it or maybe not, just saw reruns. It's on tomorrow morning, so we can all watch it when we have a coffee at 8 a.m. That's cool. So, but what are some of your thoughts on watching that so far, if you had the chance to?
Well, I haven't been able to watch it, but I will put my note in on the whole forward-facing sonar. I bought it when it first came out, ran the dual screen, and I have a love-hate relationship with that thing. I end up selling it because personally I would just sit there and get locked in and just stare at the screen for hours and not realize how much time was going by.
Yeah.
And get just a fish a moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't knock it because I also got my personal best smallie off of it, and I watched that fish eat the jig on the drop.
Yeah.
But it's just not something for me personally.
Yep. Yeah. I guess it depends on your style, right?
Yeah.
Too. Some people are really good offshore and they like throwing a drop shot, small swim baits, finesse style stuff. And some aren't. Some are like, hey, I'm just going to beat the bank, or I'm a power fisherman.
Yep.
And that suits me better. I know last year I had a team in the small vessel series in my club. It was their first year, one of the anglers. So they were a team, kayak team. One guy got the forward facing sonar, right? And he said he was spending so much time in one spot trying to get this one fish to bite. He lost track. They actually did worse. Last year was one of their worst years other than when they never had forward facing sonar. But he was irritated with it. But again, he was new to it, so he still was learning it. But he was just like, my head was down the whole time, and I just kind of like lost touch of anything else. So I
Yeah.
can understand. I mean, that makes
That's
sense.
exactly what was happening with me. So I
Yeah.
fit better without it when I just read the water, read my side scan, and just pay attention to clarity and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Was
not
your
for-
PB at an event?
huh?
Was someone's comment that TJ was the PB Smalley at an event?
Yeah,
Or
that was
fun-
actually at it was at Merrill Creek when we did New Jersey versus PA.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Actually, Ray, you're the one who you judged that fish.
That's why Ray commented. Ray remembers that
Yep.
thing.
Nice, dude. All right.
I'll just hop in on my point of view real quick, Al, and then you can go because everyone kind of knows my thing. I've had it for going on a little over a year now. TJ, he's a PA slayer like myself. PA fishing's different. The best fishery you got is the Susky. You ain't using it on the Susky. If you have a 360, maybe, but these smallmouth are dirt shallow. You don't need that. You just need a top water bait and to cover water. But PA, I've said it before, I don't really use it for chasing specific fish. I use it to find cover, deep grass, whatever that aspect. But when I go up to upstate New York and hit Champlain and Lake George, Tom and Brett that are with me, that travel with me, they watched me last year catch 50 a day on it. And guess what?
Nice.
I'm rigging Brett's kayak Sunday with live scope, and I just got done helping Tom rig his with live scope. So they both picked it up. It's just there's certain fisheries where you just need it, and almost you can't, like Champlain and Lake George, come late summer, you're not gonna have to be competitive. There's always a guy like John Cox. John Cox is the only guy on the elites without it. He's the only one without it, and he put up 20 pounds yesterday. He was up there, but there's only 1 in a million of those guys. There's not, even Greg Hackney, Jason Christie, they plummeted. They did terrible. So it's like it's not every fishery, and like. For TJ being, PA, 100%. We have a lot of grass fisheries. We have the river. We don't really need it that much. Certain times, yes.
Yeah,
but
certainly it can be helpful, absolutely. But
yes, 100%. But do you really need it all the time? No.
No.
But when I go to the fisheries up in New York or the deeper ones, or I go chase crappie in deep water, it's key. It's literally 100%. I would say you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say I wish I didn't have it for next weekend. On a whole new lake, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so there's pros and cons. Al, what are your thoughts on this?
I can only say from a spectator side because because of my shoulder and that I don't fish that much anymore. But it's to me it's like watching the grass grow.
Yeah.
Watching somebody stand there with a fishing rod in his hand, going up and down the shoreline, waiting.
Yeah.
I'm like you said, Frank. I like to hit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cast, I reel it in. I don't even get 5 seconds and it's going back out again.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I'm the same way. And anybody, I don't know if you guys watch or listen to or watch on YouTube, the Bilge podcast. That's what Chris and Trait Zaldane, right? Which is an awesome podcast. I'm not going to lie. They do a great job because Trait, I actually really like her because she's straightforward. She does no BS, right? She asks the guys these questions, and she can't stand people that cheat and this, that. So I really enjoy her. They had Seth Feider on, I think it was Thursday, what's today? Friday, Wednesday on their podcast. They were talking to Seth. Awesome interview. How do you not love that dude? And they talk about it. They go, Seth, well, what do you think about forward facing sonar? How do you think that's going to play this season and everything? He's like, dude, everybody has it. Some guy's got 6 screens. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I don't care for it. He's like, it is what it is. He's like, it's part of the game. It's part of the evolution of the sport. He's like, look at front of my boat. I got a friggin', what are those? The BMT screens?
Yeah, the NBT Marine.
NBT. Yeah. He's like, I got one of those. He's like, I got one because you have to. And
one of my kayak.
Yeah. Right. And so he was like, dude, it is what it is. Like, it's part of the sport. You can't be a baby about it. You got to go compete.
You got to adapt. And Bassmaster, I was listening to Bassmaster because I'm able to watch majority of it during the day. But they even said the thing is, all these guys growing up is the way to catch fish is to leave your bait in the water. the most time you have the bait in the water, the more opportunities you have, which is usually true. But then now with forward-facing sonar, Koya Fashida, who's in second place by 4 ounces now, and Pat Schlapper, who's now took over the lead, he's doing the same exact thing as him. Most of the top 20 are, especially Koya. His bait is out of the water, I would say 60% of the day, because he does not cast if he does not see one, because why waste the time?
Yeah.
He literally he does it faster than anyone else. He's got his motor on like 10 the whole time. He's just panning back and forth. And for me personally, I know it can be boring to watch, but today's footage with the fish coming up and like, especially Robert Gee, his footage was awesome. I was loving it because you could just see the bait fish roaming. You could get just ideas, and that makes me think of certain lakes, and that just gives me ideas that way. But it was so cool. But yeah, like guys are just, they're spending more time not casting now than what all these older guys like Christie and Iconelli and Swindle, that's what they grew up doing, is have the bait in the water, have the bait in the water. So I think for the younger generation that's coming up, now I wouldn't say the very youngins that just came up from the opens, but the middle of the pack don't have, like, they know to do either or, and they understand that when you need to scope, you need to scope. Where the old guys, they just have, it's their whole life. It's hard for them to put it down and really go 100% into scoping. And I feel like that's why a lot of them are struggling.
Yeah, I was watching part of it, and Davey Height was talking about, whatever. I forgot which angler they had the camera on, and they were in like 56 feet of water, but the fish were suspended at only 8 feet under the water.
Yep.
And Davey Height's like, I'm surprised. He's like, that's weird. I'd never seen like bass like suspended like that high up in that deep of water, right? So like, without that sonar, we wouldn't, like, you learn something. It's like the fish are starting to do different, they're like, evolving themselves, I guess you could say, right?
And like George was like that. When I fished last year, I caught all of them in 55 foot, and all of them were halfway or up. Like some of them were 2 foot under the surface.
That's hard to catch. Like without sonar, you're not catching that fish.
Oh no. And like I cast it 2 foot under the surface, and you couldn't even close the bail, and they just right away.
Yeah, like so like there's part of it as a spectator that you'll learn, right? You'll learn some information based off of that. So I guess thinking to myself, like, all right, I don't really want to see the screen the whole friggin', 8 hours on bassmaster.com. But at the same time, you're like, oh my God, I just learned like a lot. I just learned a lot watching that. It might have been boring, but I learned a few things that, like, oh shit, like if bass is suspended, 8 feet below the top of the water column there, but he's in 56 feet. Like that's, I don't know, it's cool, right? It's cool to learn. And
information.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they say learning never stops in fishing, right? It's like always something new, which is really cool. And now when, who knows, some bait maker out there is going to see this and they're going to come up with a new bait that's made to suspend and blah, blah, you could, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the Credge,
sir.
Right. Which we're giving away next Friday to one of our premium members. All these baits, forward-facing sonars, influencing, right? Yeah. Baits. Like, and so who knows what's going to happen after this season, right?
Don't worry, Frank. Al, next week is Lake Fork. The water or the air temps up.
Oh, that's right. They're back to back.
The full moon's coming. It could be a slugfest up dirt shallow next week.
Good. Well, not everybody who loves the shallow stuff, the flipping. Yeah, the Johnny Coxes and the Craig Hack. Yeah, that's going to be probably. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But all right, so there we go. We got the Elite Series kicking off, forward-facing sonars in full gear. So a great transition from that is the Bassmaster Kayak Series event that starts tomorrow, Lake Murray. How prevalent do you guys think forward-facing sonar? Are we going to hear the same thing? Like, hey, everybody was on sonar. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty common. I mean, a lot of kayak anglers these days, we're all pushing, the trolling motors, the torpedoes. So, I mean, the next big step has been the forward-facing sonar. So, I mean, even here in PA, you got Jake, now Brett, Tom. It's pretty common to see guys pushing that forward-facing sonar and using it. So, I think it's going to play a big effect, especially in the Bassmasters.
Yeah.
Especially on Murray.
Yeah.
Murray, you got spots there. There are so many trees just under the water because they've been topped by the boats. So that forward-facing sonar is going to help the anglers in those areas. be able to see where they are on those trees.
Yeah.
Where is Lake Murray again? What state?
South Carolina.
That's South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Another thing too is time of year, of course. Like pre-spawn and after spawn, when they're deep still or they went back out to deep, that's going to play a huge factor. If they were up spawning, I mean, yeah, some guys might use it on perspective mode to see deeper or dirty water fish, which that's what Scott Martin did, which I never experimented with that perspective mode, which I will now, seeing
At
when he did the
Okeechobee?
open. What's that? Yeah, at Okeechobee, he was just on perspective, like Hummingbird 360, but it's live, and he could see the fish on beds. He never saw them with his eyes. He never saw them with his eyes. He was just pitching over and over and over, and then catching the 9-10 pounders in 2 foot of water. So you'll still have guys that are advanced in that end, but time of year, if it's a spawn or if they're just up shallow in the grass, that's my buddy Sean. He's a New Jersey kayak angler. We go to Merrill and we go scope lake trout for fun. It's a ton of
nice. Okay.
Soon, Sean, soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out what happens. You know, the anglers I know that are competing, they got sonar. So I'm curious to see how big it plays a factor in who does well and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I think the notion, everybody thinks, hey, if you have forward-facing sonar, you're going to find and catch fish, which isn't always the case as we've learned.
I will argue that forever. I've literally seen so many fish that come up and they get so close to your bait disappears, and then they go.
They're literally nosing it.
Yeah,
they're literally nosing it and nothing.
Yeah,
that's the frustrating part.
Here's my question: when a fish is nosing your bait and you're like, oh, you just can't commit. Do you think scent matters? Do you think scent would help that fish bite?
Presentation as well, but scent probably helps. Anything Brett touches, I don't know why I'm installing his live scope. They're not going to eat it, but good luck, Brett.
So here's why I asked that, because the podcast Bass After Dark last night, that was their topic. Does scent matter? And they brought on Keith Jones, who's he worked for Berkeley. I don't know if he still does. I think he still might. And he was like the scientist.
This stuff is.
Yeah, so
you can't argue it.
They talked about that, and anybody watching, go the Bass After Dark podcast, go on YouTube, watch last night's episode. I meant to share it on the Slay Nation Facebook group, and I totally forgot. I was watching it, and later on at night, it didn't cross my mind to share it. But they talk about it. They had another biologist on, and they also had on. Byron Velvick, if you got anybody knows, West Coast angler, you know, he was a professional angler, swim bait guru, all that back in the day. And they talk about scent, and Keith Jones was saying that scent really.
I don't throw a bait without scent.
But then you have other people saying, well, yeah, I think it definitely, like, so Brian the Carpenter gave him and Ike were on the Susky, I think late last October or something like that. And they were using jerk baits, X-Wraps, and they weren't catching much until they started putting Liquid Mayhem on. They started getting the bait. So Bry's like, dude, not for nothing, I think scent does matter.
And there's always those fish that are going to eat, like, no matter what you throw at them. But when there's pressured fish, when it's finicky, 100%. See, TJ's got Liquid Mayhem. If you guys watch like Greg Blanchard, he's a huge kayak guy. I have the scent he uses, that cross scent. I put that on everything. And then when it comes down to drop shotting, it's like one of my favorite things to do. I've thrown everything, and yes, I've caught fish on everything. I still like to throw a robo worm, anything other kind of drop shot. But the max scent gets you a few extra bites. And when you're tournament fishing, that extra bite could be that 5-pounder that you need. So certain cases, yes, but at the same time, if you're tournament fishing, you got money on the line.
Yeah. I mean, max scent, I swear by it. Use it all the time on the Susky. You know, it pulls them smallmouth in. I've literally watched smallmouth come in crystal clear water from 20 feet away to hit a fluke that's been nose rigged of max scent. So, I mean, I will argue that scent does play a factor, but I also think it's the type of scent, because I won't throw anything that's oil based, because to me, it's just going to come right off anyways.
So, all right. So T, that's a great point, because what they talked about last night was oil-based scents and water soluble, right? And they said that water soluble were the better bait, better scents to use. And I forgot the reasoning why, but they all said they all agreed on that. And then,
remember, Frankie, water and oil doesn't mix, so
true.
that's why you throw that oil bait. It's just going to come. It's going to create an oil slick on top of the water.
That's what they talked about. They said, yeah, those bait. If you're spraying scent, and when you cast your lure and you see that big ring of like a rainbow, right?
Yep.
They're like that's how you know it's oil based. So like I suggest anybody watches tonight, go listen to that episode. G-Rock just said, Bass After Dark was a great episode last night. I'm telling you, all their episodes are very educational. And the week before that, they talk about catch photo release fishing. Is it bad for the sport? And they talk about how these biologists say that we should be keeping our small fish. Don't put them back in. Yeah. Donate them, fish fry. Obviously, don't just kill them and let them float away. But they talk about why. So 2 episodes I think people should go watch for sure. Well,
speaking of that topic right there about how CPR fishing may be affecting it, one guy to really look up is the aquatic biologist.
Yes.
Shan O'Gorman, I think his name is.
I believe so.
Dude is knowledgeable as all hell. He's been on Tackle Talk like 4 times talking about everything like that. And
what does he say?
He agrees that we should be keeping the smaller fish because it's stunning the population.
Look at Monk Chunk, TJ.
Exactly.
So Chunk is literally
when they say small, what it like 12 and under?
Like sometimes even 15 and under.
15 inches or under?
Yep.
We have a lake by us, me and TJ, and it's chock full of pickerel but bass. And every tournament we fish there, and I fished there for 10 years before that. Yeah. You cannot catch one 15 inches. If you catch one over 15 inches, it's ultra rare. And any local that catches a 15 is taking it home because it's a big bass lake. You can't keep anything unless it's 15 or bigger. So there should really be a 12 to 13.5-inch slot limit. And then what was it last year? TJ found the golden goose egg in the lake and called like a 19.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's gotta be the oldest fish in the lake.
Pounder. That's all that says. That's a mock chunk 10 pounder.
We got some lakes.
Like see, I fish lakes down here in Virginia where it says, you can't keep anything under 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Anything under 12 has to go back in.
Yeah, that's us too.
So,
but certainly
it's hard.
More.
So do we feel like
15?
Yeah, I mean, like that. It seems like so. Here's what it seems like: these biologists that we're all talking about are experienced in aqua science or whatever. I don't know. I just made that up. Whatever it's called. Like it's almost like a lot of the maybe some of the biology. I don't know, like that we have in our states, right? Like Al just said, you can't even keep anything under 12. Like maybe how do like. I mean, and also Al, like in Virginia, is there a population problem with like undersized bass overpopulating anything big, or not really?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, a lot of lakes, you get a lot of lakes down here so over because we can fish all year round basically, so they get really used. You have a winter series, a summer series, a weekend series, a weekday series. There's a lot of fishing. Yeah, so I don't think they're overpopulated. I just think they're overfished.
Okay.
So a lot of the fish just get spooked. They just
get a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but in your
heavy pressure sometimes.
In your states, does it seem like there's more tournaments going on season after season? Like, do you feel like that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can tell down here.
I'd probably agree to an extent, but also we do get ice for majority of at least the northern half of the state. But the problem that our state has, and TJ can agree, is all our state cares about is trout fishing. Yep. That's it. They care about stocking those stockers so everyone can follow 20 cars behind the stocking truck and whip out their ultralights and take their 3 trout and go. And that's all they care about.
I swear, PA trout fishing is just like New York salmon fishing. Your shoulder to shoulder, just
100%.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I never would have thought that in Pennsylvania, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's why we drive to New York to fish because it's way better.
Trying to get away from the Pennsylvanians. Oh, all right. Well, that makes sense. But I don't know. It's just an interesting topic, right? With like, how do you improve? Because I know in Connecticut from where I hear, must be very similar to fishing in PA and New Jersey, right? They're like, dude, we don't have the biggest size lakes, right? You might have one or two that are like the big ones, right? And then you have a rest that are like, I don't know, 500 acres and less, right? And they get pounded. And like I hold a tournament on one of our lakes, Winchester Lake, and I call it our Dink Fest because I know everybody's going to get a limit. There's tons of bass, but they're all tiny as hell. So like you're catching, that's why we started a 10-inch minimum. You catch a 14-incher at that lake, that's lunker for the day. You know what I'm saying? You hear someone scream, I look at my co-director and I'm like, yo, they caught a 14, didn't they? Right? Like a 14-incher, right? But you're like, well, what can we do? Because getting a big fish in there is very, 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 very rare. My co-director caught a 7-pounder out of there, actually, one tournament.
That's probably the
7-pounder drop shot,
Yeah.
6-pound test. Almost had a heart attack. Got a state pin for it. It was huge, biggest bass I've landed in a net, seen. And but that's like it. It's like a unicorn. And it's like, well, how do you improve? And I'll be honest with y'all, right? We always thought we were doing the best for lakes by catch, photo, release. Right? Nothing's dying, nothing's sitting in a live well for 8 hours in 100-degree weather. And now you're like, oh, shoot, when you watch these, like, thank God for podcasts. I'll tell you that much. Because if there wasn't podcasts or people that did shows or whatever, how would any of us really know? I wouldn't think to go do research on this, to be honest. I'm going to listen to it on a podcast. And like, not for nothing, this has been a pretty main topic lately within the past few months. You hear fishing biologists on all these podcasts talking about the fish populations. Now, every state's a little different, but it seems to be a majority of states where it's like, yo, it's all dinks and there's no big fish. And here's why: these little ones are eating all the forage so that these big ones can't even get to the size that we wish they would be, whatever. So it's like, it's a really good time right now with podcasts that are happening that are very educational. Like, it's not just like, hey, let's just crack a beer and shoot the shit. Like that's all fun and dandy, but it's nice to listen to the ones that have some educational purpose to it, because it makes us think like, oh, damn, well, what can we do as a club, right? Like, what can we do as a club, whatever it might be, like my state, they were changing some bass fishing regulations. They were thinking about opening up some private water company property for people to go fish, so that we're not all fishing the same usual spots, right? Which is a great idea. And then 2, I had commented, it was a Zoom meeting and there was like, I don't know, hundreds of people on it. And I asked a question, well, how can tournament clubs in the state, help with this? And I was like, we do. And the guy's like, oh, well, what do you do? What style tournaments? And we're like, oh, we're catch, photo, release. He's like, well, you're already helping us. There you go. That's perfect. So we're thinking, oh, cool, we're helping, but now we're learning that it's actually keep releasing all these small fish back, that's hurting lakes. So it's like, it's
a catch-22.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
Because
Ed here that the signs are, out of date. And that's the thing. These regulations were made how many years ago? And with the technology advances in science now, Texas does I think Texas is kind of like the bass fishing capital.
Mecca.
So the problem is that there's states like Arizona, which has some bass fishing, but probably doesn't need to focus on bass. Like where PA, all they care about is trout. They focus on a little more bass. Upstate New York, they already have phenomenal fishing, but it's not doing good with them spraying cayuga every year because the pleasure boaters don't want grass in their little toes as they're swimming. Like, there's just so many things that could change to make it better. And I don't.
But either way, whether you're CPR or you're bringing 5 to the scales, both tournament styles, the fish go back in. So you're putting them back in the water either way.
Yeah.
Maybe like TJ said, or I think it was TJ said about a slot. If your fish is between 12 and 15, you should be able to keep it if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you're in a tournament.
Have the anglers keep it, throw it in a freaking cooler. At the end of the day, we just do a fish fry.
But the thing I brought up about older anglers, how many older guys are through and through blood, catch and release? And when they bring that up to a tournament circuit to keep, how many old guys are going to throw a fit and argue that forever because they're so used to it? So it's like, I agree we need a slot limit change, but how many people are actually gonna do it?
That's just it. And
Yeah.
like Maryland, up until I forget what weekend it is in May, I think in June, May or June, it's 15 inches or larger
Yep.
is all you can bring to the scales. Then after a certain date, it drops to 12.
Yep.
So
That's what we
maybe
had.
maybe you need that 12 to 15 slot. This way it lets the smaller ones grow, but it gets those aggressive 12 to 15. That's your more aggressive bass. In that, maybe we get more of those off the water, it'll be a lot better.
Right.
It'll allow those over 15 to keep growing.
Well, it's not only that; it's also you got to think about just the foliage base, like all the pickerel and muskies and everything like that. All those little toothy critter snot rockets, they're also eating up the same thing the bass are going for.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the things I look at if I'm going to fish for a lunker, if there's a whole bunch of snot rockets, pickerels in that lake, I'm not going to fish that lake if I want a big bass because there's too much competition. If there's crappie in there, they eat the same thing, so there's a lot of competition. Jake knows our favorite little hidden lake.
I didn't know if you were going to bring it up or not.
But I have never caught a single toothy critter out of that place.
No. I know they're in there, but there's not many. There's
not many at all. And
there are crappie in there, though, which they
there?
say crappie is terrible for a bass factory.
It is, because they'll eat the bass fry. Like, they will destroy the bass fry population.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, that's one of the things I look for is just a lake that has a high bluegill, because bluegill spawn constantly in any water above 70 degrees. They'll spawn every month, so it's a constant food source that replenishes itself. So that's one of the things I look for. And then, no pickerel, no nothing like that if I can help it. And then, that's usually the lakes you're going to find your big bass hidden in.
Yeah, I wonder what if oh, we love Jake Stem. Look at that. Is that May?
No, that's my one buddy.
No.
What
if that's not a bad idea, like Rob's Woods and custom sawmilling. Like, what if, like, instead of think about, they stock trout, they stock bass, whatever. What about stocking more bait fish, more panfish, more?
Well, see, that's the thing, Frankie, is lakes. All right, I'm kind of going back to the Shannon Gorman.
Yep.
A lake is only like capable of holding a certain amount of pounds of fish per acre. So if you're going to stock more fish, you got to take more fish out. So, say you're stocking more panfish, then we need to pull more bass out of that smaller those smaller bass, that slot limit. Or what you got to do is you actually got to introduce like feed to the lake. Like, you actually got to produce like feed for the bluegill and stuff like that to actually up that per poundage per acre. So it's not as simple as just adding more bait fish to it. Like, the sciences behind this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. It's intriguing though, because you just want to, like, part of you is like, how do I make fishing better in the state, like in my state, right? And you're just like not for nothing, I think I might reach out to our DEP, and that's our Fish and Wildlife, and just ask, like, hey, I have a question. Like, is there an issue with bass population, specifically bass, meaning, there's not as large bass as much as there used to be. Why is, like, based off your studies, why? And two, would it help if we allowed each team to keep one bass that was under 12 inches, right? One bass, like, or one bass per angler. If you're a team, you each keep one, right?
Yeah.
And as we know with what we do, you don't want someone keeping that, because then, they take, people try to cheat, right? They take a picture of it twice, but whatever, we have to do our due diligence. But I don't know. I'm going to reach out and just see what answer I get. I'm just curious because this is an important topic, right? Because it's going to keep tournament fishing happening. And if we don't, you know what I mean? Otherwise everybody, especially in some of our states like us, like, what, we're going to be having 12-inch like fish being lunker. No one's catching 3-pounders. It's going to suck.
I think also it's not only up to us with the tournament anglers, it's your everyday fishermen.
Well, it's true. That's true too.
Because they're going to be the ones who are actually going to be harvesting more of those fish than we ever will.
Well, that's
the problem with a lot of them is they're keeping every single thing they catch too. Like,
true.
Yeah.
They're not thinking keep smaller ones, which if you're thinking of anything, hunting, whatever they say, the younger, it tastes better than an old mature animal. So
Yeah, the meat.
but
Yeah, but you
Hmm.
bring up a good point. They catch that 5-6 pounder, they're gonna be excited. They're gonna, hey, that's 5 pounds of meat right there.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, that's
Didn't even think
still,
about
it frees up
recreational.
some more foliage for the
if
other
we
fish
if
in
we
the
can start
lake.
keeping little ones and then stop keeping big ones and even out, there could be some
Dude,
big impacts.
Chunks should be flipped.
That's it.
Yes.
Anything over 15 inches, you got to throw it back. Anything
100%.
under, keep.
That's it.
Yep.
We're gonna have to start turning all our Slay Nation members into Slay Nation Rangers. Listen, we got a decent army. If we can spread out and just make sure all those
Hey,
recreational.
between me, TJ, and
that's-
Goslin, we got Chunk on lockdown.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I live 6 minutes from Chunk now. During the spring and summer, every day after work, that's where I'm gonna be.
You can have a Slay
I
Nation.
heard of that. Monk
Nation.
Chunk, right?
Yeah,
Monk
Mock Chunk.
Yep.
That's it. I know about that.
And it's even if they just did it like April, June, August, anything between 12 and 15, you keep maximum 3 per person.
Yeah, but this is a great.
That little bit would help clean it up.
Yeah. I feel like I want to reach out to some biologist to have on the show to talk about it. I think it's a topic people would be interested in.
Shane O'Gorman. I'm telling you, that man is just
He
great
knows his stuff.
knowledge.
Do you follow? Have you ever
Yeah.
have you ever messaged him?
Yep, I have.
Then message him and say, "Hey, Shane, I got a question for you." Right, and
Okay.
see if he'd be interested. Be like, we were talking about this. Everybody, we're intrigued about it. We'd love to have you on an episode, and I'll have you obviously hop on when he hops on. But let me know because I think it's important. I think it's important, and it's more prominent. If you watch these podcasts lately, they're talking about like the share lunker programs and this and that, right? So it's obviously on the minds of us because this is what we do. We love tournament fishing, so we want to make sure there's bass for us to catch and big ones. All right, cool. So shifting topics. So we talked a little bit about the big boat stuff and forward-facing sonar, and will it play a role in the kayak event this weekend for Bassmaster Kayak Series? So the next thing let's do a little rapid fire round. Let's just have a little fun because it's going to be an hour and a half before we know it, and I don't want to keep everybody too late Friday night. Whatchamacallit? So I'm just going to say a word, a name. Could be a bait, could be a series, could be an actual person, a topic, and we'll go around the table here, and you just say the first thing that comes to your mind, whatever it is. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. First one is chatterbait.
Lunker.
Okay.
I caught my
Great
7.5
lure.
pounder off of that.
Okay. What'd you say, Al?
Great lure.
Great lure.
It's great. I mean, it's a go-to lure for me.
Hell yeah.
Cayuga Lake.
Cayuga Lake.
That's my go-to there in the spring. You cannot
okay.
beat it.
I can't throw a red chatterbait. I don't know. I cannot
What?
throw. I don't dig the color. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Dude, Frankie, you're missing out, man.
Maybe I got to throw it more.
Don't
I
you
just-
remember my first event directing where Isaac Pauly caught a 6 and a 5 on it and no one else caught a scoreable fish out of 25 people? That was on a red chatterbait.
Red chatterbait?
Yep.
Red chatterbait. Just
What
like
color,
that.
what
All
color
red.
blade is it? Nickel
Black.
That's a gold.
or
Or
black?
is it? Oh, that's
Black.
black.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ed says you're giving away the juice, TJ. You gotta hide it.
All
There you go,
right.
Frank. How about
I
this?
don't
You
keep the
throw.
color anymore.
I got to get it out of the package, but
What do you got?
I can't get it out of the package. How about a pink one? The pink plate.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
A pink bladed jig. I would throw a pink bladed jig in some stained water.
You're gonna throw a pink over a red. Like you gotta throw pink and red.
I don't
If you're
have
gonna-
anything. I have red crankbaits. That's it. I will get a red chatterbait at Bass
Thank
Pro.
you.
Or-
Everybody has red crankbaits.
Yeah.
That's standard.
That's every
I know.
single
I
YouTube
don't
video
throw
for
anything-
spring bass fishing.
I'm not.
Red.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, dude.
I know
All right.
Tactical Bassin just threw down a video. Red fish nothing but red in the spring, so it's not a secret.
Yeah.
All right. I have a video of 2 6-pound bass and back-to-back catches on that color chatterbait. Nice. All right. Next question. Okay. Mark Zona.
Hall of Fame.
Great
Yep.
show.
Yep.
Great personality. Great. Love watching him.
Yep. TJ?
Yep. Not too familiar with him, honestly.
So he
Oh my
is one of
God.
the broadcasters on Bassmaster. You'd recognize his voice.
You know who
Probably.
he is.
And
if you
he
recognize
has his own show. And
Yeah, he has Zona
I
TV
mean-
fishing show.
him. He just got inducted
Eh, eh.
into the Fishing Hall of Fame. Was it yesterday?
Now today the announcement was
But
this
today they
morning.
announced it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yes, I like Z a lot. All right, next one. Ben Milliken.
Oh God.
Big bait master.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like live sonar guru.
Yeah. Okay. Al, anything?
Nah, no.
All right, Ben Milliken, I think, is going to change, or what am I going to say? Sponsorship. I guess that's what it comes to my mind. He doesn't really
That was
have
a good
any.
one.
He's the only guy fishing in Jordans and like.
Al, do you know who Ben Milliken is?
Not really.
He's
So, He's a
go ahead.
YouTuber. He's a YouTuber. He's from Nebraska. He moved to Texas a couple years ago after doing successful on YouTube, and then he's always been bass fishing tournaments, and then went full time on YouTube. And then when he started doing live scope, and he is a glide bait, big bait, and live scope like guru, as TJ said. And he fished the opens last year and he made it top 9, and now he's in the elites. And he's
Isn't
definitely
he part
changing the
owner of
game.
6 Cents?
He is.
Yes, he's part owner of Six Cents. And what Frankie mentioned, the sponsorship thing, he is trying to say that, trying to do it. He has some sponsors, but his boat is wrapped as, if you've ever seen the movie Talladega Nights, it's got a cougar, like the race car in the movie, and it says ME. And there's no names, like no sponsorship. He put his all of his fans sent in pictures, and he made it like a digital camo. And they're all zoomed in pictures of his fans. Like he's just trying to do like no sponsors on the wrap, and like that's his whole deal right now.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Check it out.
Yeah, he'll be fun to watch. He's doesn't really care what anybody says.
No.
All right, that was a good one. Okay, next one is Old Town.
The best.
Okay.
No.
Come on, Hobie owner. No way.
What do you have, TJ?
I'm a Hobie 360.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
yeah.
Hobie
Okay.
guy.
He's a Hobie
They're
guy.
like they're always up here,
All right. Al, any words on Old Town kayaks?
For what I've seen and heard, they're great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I don't have a kayak right now, so if I did,
I don't either.
I think Hobie would be where I would go, only
Okay.
because there's more said and more products available.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Hey, just a little side note, TJ, didn't you have to fix your drive? I haven't had to fix mine yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
my
keep
God.
going. All right. I had
Jake's,
to throw it in there.
Jake's is just pristine. All right. Next question. Next one. Randy Blockett.
Another name I'm not familiar with.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I've heard.
I don't
Cry
watch a lot of
baby.
the actual like classic and stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't got time to.
It's all right. He's a former. So Jake, describe who he is, please.
He is a former Elite Series pro. Now he just makes YouTube videos, and he hates forward-facing sonar and complains about it every single video. And he's just the person that always complains about something all the time, and that's how he has all of his views.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he puts out like clickbait stuff. So again, going back to the podcast Bass After Dark, I think their second or third podcast, maybe fourth, they had Randy Blockett on and Ben Milliken, who do not like each other whatsoever. And they had them on the same show, and it turned out exactly what we all wanted. Go and watch it. It was great. All right, cool. Yeah, I think Randy Blockett, like I kind of had.
Well, I think it's clear Ed definitely does not like him.
Where
he gets the
what do you say? All he does is cry. He does.
Rob
Boo.
said he's best friends with Milliken. I would
Oh my
definitely
God.
not agree with that. I know
Yeah,
you're
that's
joking.
funny.
That's
That
funny.
is true. That's true. Like, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I would watch some of his stuff because he was coming up all controversial. So I was watching some of his stuff, and I'm like, all right, not bad. He's always like calm headed, right? And he has some. He's a smart angler, right? He was good. He was a pro, right? He's really knowledgeable. But now, the last few like weeks, and his stuff comes up, and it's just about complaining about this. Co-anglers don't want to fish because the forward things, and it's like, all right, shut up. It's like enough's enough. I get his reasonings, but it's like enough's enough. All right. Next name, Christine Fisher.
Overrated.
Jake.
I'd say like top 20 in the country, but she's not. She's not. She's good. She's good. She's competitive, but she's not top 3.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Al?
I've heard the name, not familiar.
Okay. I think she's
a solid fisherman. She does a lot of great stuff for kayak fishing and everything like that. I just think she's a little overrated.
I think she had a really successful couple of years there and a good run, but last year she still was in contention somewhat. She was cashing checks. She still does good. She cashes checks. She's the best kayak female angler.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Out of them. There are a lot of good kayak female anglers, but she's definitely at the top. But yeah, I definitely think for those couple like years when she was, running and AOI and stuff, she did get a lot of hype.
Yeah, I think she's really good for the sport. I think she's really good. I think she would kick my ass, and I hope, because I know she's doing some stuff with the Opens as a I believe.
Yeah.
I hope she makes a transition and says, "Hey, I'm going to try fishing, as a boater." Because I would really like.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the first female.
I would like to see. I would like to see that. I think that'd be really cool to see. So we'll find out what happens. All right. Next question. Oh my God. All right. So I guess this is a little longer question. Should kayak anglers be able to get out of their kayaks during tournaments to take a cast?
Yes. It's when you're in the river, like especially river tournaments, there's going to be times where it's shallow water. You're going to need to get out and pull your kayak around. A lot of the tournaments, when we do them on the rivers, even like native, do it to where as long as you're still attached to your kayak, then you're good to go.
I would agree with attached, because you can't just do what Fluke Master did and got himself in trouble for. I don't know if you guys saw this last year. He had a kayak derby. He had a bedfish inside of docks, got out of his kayak, went on the bank, caught it, went back 50 feet to his kayak, posted the video. Everyone called him out. He then forfeited his win. So I agree with TJ to an extent. Now, going through trees and around trees to like boundaries that necessarily certain guys, like a young gun who's super young and goes up over a bank and around while he's still attached to his kayak to go around a tree and a river to get farther up, then you're starting to pass the boundaries. But that question alone has always been an issue with kayak tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay. Al, what do you think?
I got to agree to a point. I think it's just getting out of it, like TJ was saying, that one guy that just went and fished, just had his kayak, went over and fished to bed. No, there has to be a reason to get out.
Yeah. Okay.
If you already have the fish and it's already hooked and he gets caught up on a tree branch and you want to get out and get him, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But not to get out to stand up over the tree to throw on the other side of it.
And the problem is when tournament fishing, you know how it is, guys, as directors, you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Oh, absolutely.
So you got to watch what you permit, because next thing you know, you'll have a guy said he hooked the fish from 100 yards away and he's crawling all over. And
he's got 100 feet of paracord attaching him to the kayak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. My opinion is I don't think it's kayak fishing if you're in the water. I think you're waiting. That's just whatever comes to my mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, though, you have to.
If you caught the fish while in the kayak and you have to get out to get it because it's stuck or something, okay. But to get out of the kayak to cast, you might as well just bank fish.
All right.
I don't
Moving.
know.
Well,
There's
this
been a
is
couple of times, especially on the Susky, where I've literally had to get out the kayak to actually shoot down like an offshoot or a stream or something like that. It's only 6 inches deep.
Yeah, when
So
it comes to
literally,
river fishing, it's different.
I'll have the kayak wrapped around me, and yeah, I mean, there's some deeper pockets in there. So sometimes I will have a rod in my hand, and if I see a deeper little pocket, I will flip into it.
I've hiked up the Susky in a foot of water where your motor doesn't work, your pedal drive doesn't work, and I've had a rod in my hand and I've caught some giants doing it.
Yeah.
But those river events, that's when the rules change because of that. Because in the summer it gets so low, literally a deep part of the river is like 2.5 foot. So,
all right, moving on. All right, next one. Oh my God, I just had a brain fart.
Cramps. Frankie gets one usually every live.
Nope. Bass Pro Shops.
Overrated.
Destroying the
overpriced. Overpriced.
Too. What'd you say, TJ?
Destroying the little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Wacky Worm in Gilbert, PA. I will be there tomorrow. I believe TJ and Goslin. I'll be there around noon with my dad and Tom and Brett, supporting them. They run a spring sale every year. You might have seen him in some of your shops. Wacky Worm, the yellow bag with Senkos. That's our shop up there.
Yep, I've seen those posts.
He's one of our PA sponsors, and going to talk to him tomorrow about coming back for this year. He sponsored an event last year, and we're going to talk to him again about sponsoring an event this year. Nice. And he's actually, as a thank you, he's going to get one of our leftover jerseys.
Oh, nice.
From last year.
Nice. Well, you'll love that.
All right, sweet. All right, cool. All right, last two. Professional kayak anglers.
There's not many.
No.
There's very few.
We could use more of them.
Professional kayak anglers.
I think it's well deserved. I think it needs to be.
I should change it to overused, because there's actually probably 10 or less, and a lot of people call themselves, but then they have their side gigs they're doing while they're traveling. So then technically, if all of your money is coming from tournament winnings and sponsorships, to me, that's a professional for what you're doing for them. Creating content, whatever it is. But if you're technically working remotely or whatever else, you have the opportunity to fish professionally, but I think it's overused.
Okay.
But it is something that needs to be, it's what, like you were saying, you get all your money from kayak fishing. Well, right now you really can't use the term pro because there's not a lot of money in it for kayak anglers to go pro.
Yeah.
But when you look at kayak versus bass boat, more people should be able to make a living at kayak fishing if the tournaments paid a little more, because your expense isn't as, you don't have that, like me with my truck, I go from 18 miles to the gallon to 12 when I put a bass boat behind it. But I put a kayak in the bed, I go maybe to 17.8 miles to the gallon. I don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, your ROI, your return of investment in kayak tournaments is definitely bigger. But the problem is the sponsorship-wise, they don't see it as big as boat tournaments, so they don't pay as much. But what I'm worried is they're throwing the term around so much when there actually is a professional kayak angler, they're not getting the recognition they should.
Yeah. No, they're not. And like you said, there isn't that many that really qualify as a professional angler when it comes to kayaking.
Yeah. Well, I agree with Jake.
It's a handful.
I agree. If you are a kayak angler that is getting paid from sponsors and tournament winnings, and that's what you're surviving off of, like surviving, not like barely surviving, professional.
You're barely surviving. I don't care if you're eating ramen every tournament. You're technically pro.
But other than that, there's no professional kayak league, so there's no other professionals, right? End of story. It's just the way it is, and it's hopefully it gets there one day. We'll see. All right, moving on. Next one. Last one. Sponsorships.
Whew.
Well,
Very difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Tough.
so many clubs, so many organizations, so many people now, thanks to kayak fishing. You went from maybe an area like where I am had 7 or 8 bass clubs with the boats. Now there's 30 or 40 clubs with kayaks. So I know when I had Gray Goat Lures, 5, 6, 7 emails a week to sponsor me, sponsor our club. Hey, can you give us 50 lures for a tournament we have?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, can you cut a deal with the electric company on my electric bill? But it's there's a lot of people. It's like we were saying earlier about bass fishing, being pressured. A lot of companies are getting pressured so hard by people. It's hard to make the decision which way to go.
Yep.
And I don't want to sound negative with this, but the issue too is our sport, especially during COVID, grew so much. And the amount of money that companies have to spend when they used to sponsor guys with their wraps and jerseys to now, where unfortunately so many kids are coming up that they're not really learning the proper way. I didn't learn the proper way. I used to be like this, is reaching out saying, hey, can you sponsor me? And companies go, yeah, I'll give you 10%. Well, to kids, that's amazing. To someone new, that's amazing. I think they're sponsored, to where this company's doing nothing to give them 10%, which is maybe their shipping cost. And then now it's just so saturated. The companies are getting so much free advertising compared to the pro. It's same with YouTube. The pros say it too. The YouTube game, companies can now sponsor YouTubers, so that way the pot of money is just so big now that it's tough to get money from anyone. Because why pay someone $500 a season when you can have 20 people that are new to it that are more than happy to take 10% discount, 15% discount, and slap the name on for free.
Yeah. I mean, even just going to like the local stores as a director, trying to, get them to sponsor is a hard thing, because I was talking to Brian from Five Mountain Outfitters about this all last week. So many guys these days are coming out, their hand held out, camera, like this, give me, not, hey, this is, me, this is what I can do to help you out. When I approach, companies, tackle shops, local or whatever, it's like, look, this is who we are. This is what I can do. I can, plaster your name all over our event. I can promote you guys. And honestly, I don't expect much. If you guys want to donate a gift card, if you guys want to donate a couple of baits to just, first, second, third place, whatever you want to do. I just want to develop that relationship. And maybe as a couple of years goes down, maybe we can increase it once you see that I'm not going anywhere. I think too many people just want to come right away, be like, oh, give me as much as I can get, right off the bat. And that's just not going to work.
100%. I agree with that 100%.
I think it's just, it's almost getting out of hand, right? You see every tournament angler, kayak, big boat, whatever, you see all these announcements all the time. Happy to announce I'm on this team. Happy to announce I'm sponsor of this. And it's like, all right, there's tons of that going on. So when it comes to somebody really trying to pursue this professionally, and they go to a business and say, hey, here's what I got going on, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be fishing the Elite Series, whatever it is. They're like, oh, I don't have any money to give you. I don't have any product to give you because I have these 200 people that are taking this and that. And so even with Slay Nation, I see it too. Like, luckily with us, a lot of our partners are long lasting, right? And I find it difficult as well. And we have a decently sized platform, right? And I see the company like partner with like an individual person. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I think we have more value here, but it makes it really hard just to get in the door. And it's like, it's almost like getting exhausting, right? You're like seeing these posts. I mean, you're like, oh, hey, happy to welcome. And we're all thinking, oh my God, that, but you see it's a pro staff or pro whatever. And the more you're in the industry, you learn like, all right, they're acting like they're, sponsored when they just got a 15% discount.
Yeah. And that's right? The thing is traveling is so expensive that these guys that are trying to do it you actually look at the elites, which I kind of notice is their jerseys are stock full because
If you watch them, you're 100% right. You're like, oh my
you're only
God.
getting half the money that you used to get for sponsors. So they have to fill that thing.
Yes, they do.
Even break even to where they have to still cash a couple checks to make money.
100%. And when I see those jerseys and I see 30 logos on the back, I think to myself about that. I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of commitments. That is a lot of posts, a lot of engagements or expos to go. Like, that is a lot of work. And I'm like, how do you even fulfill that? How do you fulfill that? And that's just 30 logos I see in the back of the shirt. That's not including the 15 on the front of the shirt, because the front is the main real estate.
And then what's on the boat?
What's on the boat? Like, it's crazy, but you got to have more.
And then,
half of what you used to get.
Each one wants one post a day, and there you got 30 days of the month already filled. And then your favorite tournament angler is now a sponsored post every single day of the month, and then you unfollow them. So then they drop numbers, which then reflects the sponsorship money, and then it's a just giant circle.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. It's nuts. And sponsorship, like, not for nothing, it's like, oh my God, you've seen everybody every day. Oh, I'm working with this, I'm working with that. All right, it's great, but at the same time, it's like everybody feels like they're a pro now, right? And I hate, like, part of me does not like that. Part of me doesn't like that. Like, just stop.
I think TJ had the best point, is building those relationships. And it's like anything, it's quality over quantity.
100%.
It might have to pay a lot out of pocket, but in the long run, to create a 7-8 year relationship where, okay, after those 5 years, look at you now. You got big money from your 5 sponsors and you're chilling. And it sucked the first couple years, but in the long run, it's worth it.
Well,
it's the long game. That's all it comes down to. You're playing the long game with these guys. You're just trying to show them that you're not there to just take everything you can. It's like, no, let's just develop that rapport, that relationship, and build from there.
And the younger generation, they're all about fast. Even me. I mean, I'm young. It's fast. Everyone wants stuff done now. You give these kids sponsorships and they get another response from one the next day, they're going to drop them. Like, they don't care. They just jump around, and then it's just all messed up.
Yeah. Sponsor bandits.
Yeah.
Hey, Brett, thanks for the unfollow. I didn't need you to follow me.
Yeah, whatever. But,
hey, make your own kayak Sunday.
That's it. Oh, sucker. Jake's gonna drill a little hole he's not gonna tell you about.
Exactly. Tom, I got him. He's singing.
Hey, I got like some 30-second drill bits that he won't.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. Like, Jake, why is my kayak turning into a submarine? Why?
Dude, he's got a blue sky. It's already like a freaking bass boat. Come on, man.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah. Anyway, sponsorships. Yeah, if any, I agree. Build relationships. You want to get to a point where the sponsors are your friends, right? That's the rapport you've built, right? Because then you have a great understanding. We're going to spend a lot at Wacky Worm tomorrow. Wear your sleigh jersey so they know what we bring back.
That's a good idea, Tom. Yep. I'll do it. I'll be there.
Yeah, wear that. All right. Well, did you like that? Did you like that little here's a word? Right. I might do that. On future episodes. I'll be honest with you. Everything I just spit out, I have nothing written down. I don't know. I just ad-libbed that. So those names that came up, I don't even know how they popped in my head, but they did. Next week, y'all, next Friday, Slay Station, our special guest is the host of the TV show Lunkerville. So I know some of you may not have know that show. I know that show. It's from the early 2000s. It's still running, new episodes. They were on the World Fishing Network. They're on Sportsman's Channel, Outdoor Channel. Now they're on Amazon Prime, all that. Lunkerville, Mike D, the host Mike D, who's from New York, right? Mike D is going to hop on. And if you haven't, go check out lunkerville.com or check out some of their episodes. It's right up our alley. What he does is Mike hosts these shows and he goes out. People reach out to the show who are everyday regular fishermen, anglers, whatever you want to say. It could be a mom and a daughter that just go trout fishing at a local stream. It's like how they fish. What do they do? And Mike goes with them. They have the camera crew and they, the secret spots. They go down these little dirt paths and they're at a dam and they're fishing for trout and they kind of just give the tips that they use. I've seen an episode from New York. This guy, Mike met him at the ramp. The guy had a foldable boat. This guy, I was like, whoa, they're getting in that. The guy pulled it out of his truck, and the thing looked like a box. and he unfolds it. And it was a friggin' John boat, right? And like they get in it and they go and they slay some perch and bass. Like it's just everyday stuff. He goes on guys with bass boats, kayaks, all this bank fishing. So it's for the it's exactly right up our alley. Like, you know, it's the only thing we're missing. If I had a camera and I can travel the country and film all these things, it would be the same thing, except we're doing it on the tournament side, grassroots tournament slayers, right?
Hey, they were two skinny guys, right? Because I feel like if me and TJ try to hop in the
one of the guys was not. No, one of the guys was a big boy. Like
that's heck of a sponsorship ad for that boat.
I'm talking lineman, lineman, big boy. Yeah, so Mike D's going to hop on the show next week, and we're going to talk. I'm going to post this weekend about it with his little bio. But go check out Lunkerville. I know a lot of people will know what I'm talking about. They even had their line of soft plastics, really cool stuff. I think they were all Senkos. It was a line of Senkos.
All you need.
That's all you need. Exactly. But he's a great guy, so I'm excited, and I won't bring that up. But I appreciate you guys for hopping on Friday night. I knew this was going to be a good talk. We touched on some good topics, right? Forward-facing sonar, kayak fishing, big boat fishing, sponsorships, fish
Civil
biology,
War,
which I know nothing about. TJ looked like the professional tonight, dude. You got Shane. What's his name? Shane O'Connor. Oh, what? You guys know who Shane?
Bro, he's legit.
Hal knows Shane O'Connor. He knows what I'm talking about. The singer Sinead O'Connor, you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh my God, dude, she had the shaved head.
Did she just pass away?
She did.
Did she just pass away a few months ago?
She did. Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
Shane. Oh, what's his name?
Shane O'Gorman, I believe it is.
Shane O'Gorman.
The aquatic biologist. Look it up on Instagram and Facebook.
O'Gorman. That's it. All right. Irish. My brother-in-law. That's my Gorman. Not O'Gorman, but Gorman. All right. Well, hit him up. Hit him up and see what he said.
Hey, Frankie, before we wrap up, I kind of want to do a little, as we're leaving, I want to see what everyone's doing this weekend fishing.
Okay.
All right. So you go first. Are you doing anything fishing-wise?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Fishing? No, I got basketball, dude. I'm in baller season right now. Oh, but here's what I will say. March 22nd, 23rd, 24th, Mohegan Sun Casino, one of the biggest casinos in the Northeast, right? The Connecticut Fishing and Outdoor Expo. Slay Nation is hosting one of the first in the region kids casting zones, a kid zone, right? So we're really excited for that. From toddlers to teenagers, speed reeling competitions, right? How fast can the kid reel a jig in? Time trials. We got flipping and pitching with Slay Nation members. I'll teach kids how to flip and pitch. We're going to have magnetic fishing for little toddlers, magnetic fish to catch stuff. Every kid is leaving with a bag of soft plastics. Every kid that comes in, a sticker, soft plastics. They're going to have an opportunity to win a tackle box. I'll talk more about that, which organization donated it, which is a huge name. We're also going to be giving away fishing rods and reels, things of that nature. It's going to be great. There's going to be a trout pond. Then further down the kid zone, there's going to be wildlife animals exhibits. There's going to be catch a kid. A kid's going to be strapped on a harness and someone gets to reel the kid in. It's from a Black Hawk charters up here. It's a ocean charter. There's going to be
They're usually at every expo.
What?
Those guys are usually at every expo.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
What
you made special guest there, ain't there? Frankie the Fish, right?
Frankie the Fish is going to be there. You guys come down. You might be able to see a huge green largemouth bass person walking around, and kids could take pictures. Adults could take pictures, right? That's right. Forgot. Frankie the Fish might actually make an appearance. Not the next Slay Station. I got to see if he's he's available in 2 Slay Stations.
Hopefully he doesn't get cramps.
Yeah, we'll see. No, we hope they don't get. Listen, knock on wood, no cramps in the last month, 3 weeks. But I'm not doing any fishing this weekend. I just renewed my fishing license though, so that's good. And I will add this. I was sitting on a couch with my son. Whatever, it was like Wednesday night after dinner. We're just, sitting on the couch, just chilling. We were watching basketball and whatever. He's like, Dad, he's like, I want to go fishing again. I'm like, you do? He's like, yeah. He goes, I want to fish to win a trophy. I'm like, in a tournament? He goes, yeah. Can we do one together? And so
Nice.
I was like, yeah, we could do one. So that got me thinking, like I've always wanted to host a tournament here in my hometown because I got a perfect pond right here. It's got a big like sidewalk around it, and it's a pretty nice sized pond at the playground up here. All the kids fishing it, and made me think I'm going to reach out to our park and rec here, our town hall, and see if I can put on a kids fishing derby this spring. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing this weekend.
Al, you doing anything fishing related?
I am filming some commercials this weekend
Nice.
for Grego Tackle. We're going to film some commercials this weekend. Then next weekend, we're down in Raleigh at the Dixie Deer Classic, filming an episode of our road trip show.
Dixie Normus.
And we're going to follow that up in Greenville, North Carolina at the Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo, where we're going to be doing a lot of live stuff from inside the expo.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm always, like you were saying, Frank, about walking around with a camera, man. That camera is with me everywhere I go.
I know. And I see you, and you're still rocking the cowboy hat, which I like.
It's right here.
You got it? There it is,
I just
baby.
can't wear it because of these.
That's all right. There it is. I love it.
TJ,
I got a pair of Bluetooth ones. I just can't get them to work with the computer.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, for me this weekend, I am busy rigging up because come Thursday, I'm on my way down to Tennessee with Mike Goslin to hit up the Native Power Hour on Chickamauga.
Let's go.
Chickamauga.
Yeah, it's going to be
very
fun.
Right, spinner baits, 1 ounce.
1 ounce spinner baits for the Chickamauga.
The juice.
Yep.
Get down deep.
All right, I'm going to
pre-spawn, so hopefully some big swim baits.
That's fun. Yeah, I'm hitting up Wacky Worm tomorrow with my dad. My dad's thinking about doing some Slay Nation tournaments this year. TJ.
Oh yeah,
might be joining.
Oh, he doesn't do them? I thought Big Ron already did them.
No, not yet. He's got a new canoe with an XI3 and his home lake Shahola. He loves Shahola. So
let's go, Shahola this year.
Go. Come on. I know. I told him. I said, I don't know. I don't think I can make that. And I said, you better represent the stems because that's my lake. So going to Wacky Worm with him, Tom, Brett, TJ, Goslin. We're all going to show up Wacky Worm, support them. And then Sunday, I'm unfortunately rigging Brett's kayak with live scope, but might have to put an extra hole or two in there. We'll see what happens.
Didn't Brett just go to Europe? Where did Brett go on vacation?
Yeah, he goes on work vacations and then actual vacations. He went to Spain and somewhere else. He was riding camels on the beach. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, that definitely wasn't Spain. Unless they have camel. Poor camel. Oh, Brett, what do you do? Are they hiring? Like, dude, you're traveling everywhere? What are you, a travel agent?
Literally. That's what it seems like.
Frank, just so you know, we got Slay Nation will be, there it is.
Hey.
Nice.
We got you guys on our
I like the new logo. I like the new logo. That's what I meant to tell you. I like your new logo.
I got to find it.
Right there. Yeah, I like that.
One?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, that'll be at everywhere we go, that. And then there's the big one behind me.
Yeah.
I see on here my buddy Kyle, KT Reel Service.
I was just looking at that, Jake.
He's the president of the Kutztown team that I coach. He started his own reel servicing business. So if you guys need some, hit me up.
Kyle Living House.
Yeah, Kyle Living House. He runs his own reel service business now. So he's in close to Reading, PA. But if anyone needs any reels, hit him up. You can ship them to him, and he does awesome work.
Kyle, hit me up. We'll put your website and whatever on our website.
There you go.
Yeah, I go up to Glen Mills, Westchester, PA a lot. That's where my son and grandkids live. Well,
yeah.
So we're up there a lot. So hopefully we'll get up there one weekend when one of the tour series of that area has a tournament. Yeah. So I can go hang out with them.
Hell yeah. Let's go. All right, dudes. Well, listen, thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Thanks to everybody watching. And stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for next week's Slay Station. And then TJ, keep us posted. We want to watch that journey next year for next week. And see if you could take home the big cheddar, son.
I got some redemption to do. I've been sucking on the native, so this year I'm trying to,
got it.
Work myself up for that one.
All right. You got it, dog. All right, y'all. Peace,
right.
love, and slay the day.
Adios.
Later,
Later,
gents.
Slayers.
See
See
ya.
everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Right. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channels, like, share with your friends, things of that nature. There's a topic you want us to discuss, if it's something right appropriate, obviously, and something we can make happen. We'll try our best. But each week, we're going to try to get on all different kinds of guests, slayers, and then people up in the industry, and whatever else. I got some cool stuff planned. I just got to see if I can get these guests on. So have a great weekend. And thank you, sir. Have a great one. And good luck this weekend to our Georgia Small Vessel Series Slayers. All right, y'all. Have a great one. I want to roll it out here. Peace, love, slay all day.